Oh, hello, hello. Welcome everybody to the live. It is Sunday. Hope you all are having or had a good weekend because it's about over now. But I have a friend with me today, Cam, who's going to help me talk a little bit about Love Island. We have been watching this. Tonight is a big night with the recoupling. People were allowed to vote, so we're expecting to see a lot of tonight. And so, what I thought Cam and I would do is just kind of go through some of the highlights and just talk about what we've been feeling about the season so far, what we feel about these couples, what we think is going to go down tonight. And I'm going to tell you up front, this conversation is not going to be in any structured kind of order. We're just going to go with the flow. We've got some things that we could pull up as bookmarks to kind of react to, but we're just going to chop it up. So, Cam, say hi to the people.
Hey y'all.
So, any particular place you would like to start?
Um I think we should just start off with right now who we think is the strongest couples and the weakest couples.
Okay. So the strongest couple. That's kind of hard. Let me see because I know Huda wants her and Jeremiah to be a stronger couple, but do we think that? I don't think that.
I don't know, like they have the potential to be a very strong couple. It's just a lot of stuff that I think mostly on Huda's part she needs to fix. But even
Mhm.
some on Jeremiah, I'm not going to put all the blame on her. That it's just like going a little too fast. Like if it was like a slow burn and then it was still that big of a connection, then I would say they would be the strongest couple. But because of all the issues that they're having, I can't really give anyone a strongest couple title,
Yeah.
if that makes sense, because it's
It does.
really, how do I explain it? Like we're on day 9, 10 now, and Huda and Jeremiah are acting like they've known each other for months or maybe even a couple of years. And then the rest of the couples, like you can clearly tell they're just trying to fill each other out, or there's nothing moving on, or there's love triangles.
And I think the bad part about the thing with Huda and Jeremiah, I mean, to me, and really Jeremiah in the beginning was the one who was acting like he was all love struck, almost like it felt to me like day one. Cause I was looking at him side eye like, boy, what's wrong with you? Cause it's
Mhm.
like day one, you just met this girl and you like already you don't want to kiss anybody else. You don't want to, and I felt like he was doing too much. But like you said, as we began, what as it went on, they both kind of started looking kind of like what? But now let me ask you this though. Do you think Jeremiah kind of switched up on her though? Because he was acting like a lovesick puppy. But do you think he kind of switched up on her once he found out about that she had a child?
Yeah, I felt like there was something a little different. Like I feel like it wasn't a dramatic switch up, but I felt like he was more hesitant.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, anytime I'll leave a little bit of room for you never know what production is really trying to twist up. But based off of the conversations that we see, the only time that he's truly showing affection towards her is when it's time for them to go to sleep.
Now that's the truth.
So it's like, because me, like, I was watching it and I was like, do they ever just sleep? Like, just go to sleep instead of having a makeout sesh? Like, it's not too hot to handle. Like, just go to sleep. Just go to sleep. It is not that hard. But what I thought was interesting was when Huda had that conversation with him, basically saying, "Can you do more?" At first, I reacted and was like, she might be doing a little too much because I feel like Jeremiah is doing enough." But I see people post on social media saying Jeremiah is doing the bare minimum. Like he's just saying like, "Oh, like I just want to get to know you," yada yada yada. The most they had was a date that was put on by the producers or by the show, yada yada.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, Jeremiah really ain't doing nothing crazy. Like,
He's really not, and I don't know if it's because of how she said it, because she does that, like, I don't want to call, but maybe it is like baby talk. She's like, could you do more? I just need you to do
yeah.
more.
And she thinks that like softens the blow, but it doesn't. And it translates in his head like, oh, you're talking to me like a child.
Yeah, and it's like, girl, just come on, say what you need to say because I understand what she's saying. Like, we immediately took to each other, we vibing with each other. Both of them to me were kind of dumb that like it's love at first sight because there is no such thing as love at first sight. I'm sorry to tell you, people. It may be lust at first sight, but not love. Okay, but they both were doing all of that, and then I don't know. He got like you said, he got the in the bed at night part. He got that part on lock, but he hasn't done anything else. I mean, and he was now. How do you feel about this half cooked pancake he gave her? Do you feel like she overreacted, or do you feel like that showed his lack of effort?
I don't. Okay, I honestly don't think it's anything that deep. Like he could have easily just made a bad batch of the pancake. Like, how do I like if I was in Huda's position?
Hmm.
One, I'd be like, "Oh, this is undercooked," but I feel like I wouldn't even tell him it's undercooked. It's just like, let's say the next day it's undercooked again. Then I'm gonna be like, "Okay, dude, like,
Stop cooking pancakes, or either
like,
let them cook longer.
yeah." I'll be like, "It's a little undercooked. Like, I appreciate the effort though. Like, thank you. Like, I'll still eat it if I could." But that one time, and she was trying to rub it in her or in his face, saying, I had to get Taylor to help me, yada yada yada.
Yeah,
That was doing too much. I was like, girl, what are you trying to do? I didn't
yeah,
understand that. Me personally, I would have just didn't like not even tell him that it was undercooked and just see if
yeah.
it happened.
And I think you're right too. I think the way she tried to check him, it was like, and then using another guy almost to check him, it felt like too much. Although we're in agreement that you don't have to fake it and eat no undone pancake, but it just felt kind of like too much,
Yeah.
you know. Okay, so we don't consider. So back to your question of who is the strongest couple. I don't know if we have one. I honestly don't think we have one.
Mm-mm.
I honestly don't think we have one because if you go with who's been together the longest at this point, let's pull them up. Let's pull them up. You know who that is. That's Taylor and Olandria. Uh and that is just, to me they're like kissing cousins.
They they are. They're like, I don't know. Like I see the potential, but it's also like y'all moving a little too slow. Like a little too slow. And
Yeah.
part of me is kind of like, how do I explain it? You went through all of these or all of the processes to get like to be the final pick for Love Island. Obviously, these people had to see something in your personality for you to be on this show. The
Yeah.
last thing that they put you on the show for to think that you're a shy person and you're like hard to open up within a relationship, like I feel like you wouldn't even be in this show. Like let's put Bella for example. You can tell she was closed off, she had her morals, but I felt like she was still relatively kind of out there. Like not extremely shy, but still to the point that she'll put herself out there, if that makes sense.
Do you think do you think though she put herself out there in a desperate attempt to try to get Nick, or do you think even before she went that far into it, she was still more outgoing than Taylor?
I still think she's more outgoing than Taylor. Besides that one challenge, like I don't want to put that in a negative light because honestly, like girl might have just really wanted to do that for herself.
Hmm.
And I mean, she showed out. She did what she needed to do, but I still think Taylor is just like going with the flow. Like even with that pie challenge when they were like shoving the pies and saying who does this, who does that. I'm surprised people didn't put Taylor as one of the people that's just coasting and just trying to wait till the finals because he's not making any type of move at all. But the only
Yeah.
time that he makes a move is when another bigger, more attractive, taller country boy come up in there and try to get Orlandria, and now he all touchy feely. I'm like, I don't know,
Yeah.
man.
Well, when as soon as Taylor walked in, as soon as he walked in, my response is, "Who is this Cordell wannabe?" Okay, that was my initial response when I saw him because he was just so goofy. But ever since then, to me, it feels like he's just not into Olandria like that. But honestly, it feels like she's not into him either. it feels like they're both just trying to like, okay, we're together. So it's really, we don't see anybody else in here necessarily that we're going to get with right now. So let's see if we can make this something. But they are clearly, there is clearly just no spark between them.
Yeah.
And so, okay. So, so I'm going to consider them not a couple. Too
I
harsh.
maybe just a tad. Just a tad.
Yeah, but and I don't, I think this guy who's come in, I forget what his name is. The
Yeah.
guy who's gonna threaten Taylor a little bit. I mean, okay, I don't think he's all that, but I think he's gonna give Orlandria more of what she wants,
Yeah.
you know? All right, so okay, so who we have next? We have, let's talk about Sierra
Sierra
and
and Nick.
Nick. Hmm?
I said Sierra and Nick.
Yeah.
Or you have a plan
Sierra
to tell
and
me about.
Nick. Your thoughts.
I honestly, okay, I think they're cute, but I feel like Nick easily can get his head turned a lot.
Hmm.
And like, I truly believe, unless this is I don't know, I try to not give him too much negatives, but I feel like he's the type, like I said, he gets his head turned very quickly, but he also tries to fill out both girls at the same time, and he thinks that
Hmm.
he's communicating well with both of them, but it always ends up not working. Like like he thought throughout the time that he was talking with Sierra and Bella that he was being extremely transparent, and in this video, Sierra's talking to him about a kiss that him and Bella had that she had no clue about, like a day before the recoupling. So it's just like, if you're going to explore two girls and you think that you're being open about it, you need to make sure you're 100% open. Then I can't really blame him. But if throughout this whole season he has this pattern that he only stays with one girl for about a week and a half, and then he's on to the next, it's kind of like, dude, you're gonna have to figure out something.
I think Nick definitely gives F boy. I think he definitely gives F boy. And I think it's interesting to watch him as an F boy, like compared to Ace. Because I think he does, excuse me, exactly what you said. I think Nick plays it differently, right? Nick almost gives that energy of, for some women, they might end up being surprised that he's an F boy because he seems so kind and passionate. He seems so soft spoken, and he seems like he's really concerned about you as a person, right?
Yeah.
Whereas Ace, if he lick his damn lips one more time,
Mm, mm,
I'm like, bro, go get you some chapstick or something. I mean, just look. He's starting to get me, to use y'all younger people's words. He's starting to give me an ick.
yeah. He's been giving me the ick. I'm not even gonna lie. I need him. This might be a hot take, but I need him off that island now. Like, I
Yeah.
need him off. I just like, I can't, like, I know Amaya. Well, let me save that for the rest. We'll talk about Amaya and him later. But it's just, he's a lot.
So do you think tonight that Nick and Sierra are going to be broken up? You think any kind of recoupling is going to go on with them?
I think there might be a chance. I think my order is, I think, what's the girl's name?
Isis or Iris? Iris?
Iris. Oh Lord, not ISIS. Okay, but Iris. Iris, I think more likely is going to be coupled up with Jeremiah. But if it's not Jeremiah, I think it'll be Nick. And then if it's not
Mm.
Nick, then it'll be Ace. Because Ace, like, they had good banter, but I feel like based off of what was shown on the screen, I don't think it's enough for the general public to vote to put Iris with him, especially after his track record with having these love triangles, shifting, yada 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 yada. So
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Iris. I think America is going to put Iris with Jeremiah because they definitely want to break up this Jeremiah Huda thing. Um, and I don't know what. So Nick will be fine with Sierra, but now it feels like if Iris had her way, she would be with a new guy. Is it Poppy? Pappy? I know I'm messing it
Pepe.
up. Pepe. Okay, thank you. I said Pappy. Lord
Mm-mm.
Jesus. So but okay, so yeah, so this couple though tonight they probably will stay together. And before we move on, just so we could talk about the recoupling tonight for Taylor and Olandria, I'm fully anticipating that they will not be a couple after tonight.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if tonight is a full on recoupling or just announcing like who are the couples or who America voted.
I'm wondering that too. I think they might do the recoupling tonight. Maybe there are certain couples, like those few couples who we could vote on. Maybe it's like their decision is made by America's votes, but the others may go through the normal process. Now, that clip they showed for what's going to happen tonight, they said that they're doing something different than they've ever done before with Love Island. So,
Oh Lord, they love doing that every season. They love it.
mm-hmm. All right, so let's see. Who should we go to next? Okay, so we've done Taylor and Olandria. We've done Sierra and Nick. And of course, we have. I'm trying to save Huda and Jeremiah for last, although we've touched on it. Let's
Let's talk
let's
about Ace and Amaya.
Told you
let's
already.
talk about Ace and Amaya. Now, this is truly a non-couple.
Yeah, this is just not gonna work at all. Like at all. Like mm-mm. They
But
are
were you
probably at the bottom of the bottom.
they're probably at the bottom. They are at the bottom of the bottom. Because
Mm.
were you surprised when she still said that she still had him as her number one after all the drama?
Yes. I was like, okay, girl, like she I was like on her side. I still think that she is a little crazy, okay? But I
Mhm.
felt like all of it is stemmed from a good point. Besides her blow up on Shelly, I thought that was stupid. But even after this talk right here, the next day or later on when they had a challenge, she was like, I like that toxic love, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, girl, what are you talking about? You are on this freaking dock talking to this man. He can't even make eye contact with you. Later on in that challenge, when they were trying to, I guess, turn the dudes on or whatever, or do whatever, like, he was not even looking at her. He wasn't even engaging
No.
at all. And she still thinks like, oh, I really want that toxic love. No, girl. No, no, no.
And did you see when they were tied up to the thing, how he was cheering when the other guys were like kissing her?
Yes. I was like, okay, Ace, like, yeah, haha, but like actually stop. Because her original crash out, basically, for the people that don't know, when they had the recoupling, Ace went in there and there was this thing with Shelly. Was there another girl that he was trying to talk with?
Well, you know how he's been. He's been trying to be a Casanova across the board, but definitely Shelley, Amaya. I feel like he hasn't actually tried to approach Huda at all on the episodes, but I still feel weird energy there. But go ahead, go ahead.
But there was just like this little love triangle. Amaya came in as a bombshell with what's the girl's name? Is it Olivia? That might be so wrong. But came in as a bombshell. Shelly and Ace are still having their little banter. And then Amaya comes over, talks with Ace. They have a good little flirtatious conversation. Comes down to the recoupling. The dudes have the power to pick, and he chooses Amaya, which everyone is shocked about because, mind you, when Amaya comes in, maybe they're already 4 days in the villa, and Ace
Mhm.
and Shelly have this kind of like unknown banter. Like they're not really going to talk about it. They just flirt and move on. But then he
Mhm.
automatically chooses Amaya. So after the recoupling, literally right after, they go over to one of the tables outside in the villa. And Ace is basically like, I want to let you know now that I still want to explore other people. Amaya gets mad because she's like, that's the last thing I want to hear right now. Like, you literally just picked me for the recoupling. And the first thing that you say to me is that you still want to talk to other people, yada, yada, yada. She made it known, even though it was hard for some people to maybe pick up. She made it known. She understands what he's saying, but still, why would you say that to me right now when you just picked me? Like it doesn't make any sense. So following that next day, Ace is showing more attention to Shelly rather than Amaya. So that makes her go a little crazy because she's just basically like, why would you pick me, but then give a girl that you clearly had an option of picking for the more attention than me and not even trying to get to know me? So that
And
leads
then
to this big blow up.
and then even acts repulsed. like if she touches him or if she uses the word babe, which is obviously from how she's talked on here, even this little bit of time, it's just something that's a part of how she talks.
Yeah.
But he took such offense to it. Look, I feel like Ace is a scammer. I feel like Ace is on this show for clout. I saw that little video. I don't know if you had a chance to look at it. I sent it to you earlier with him rapping.
Oh no, I saw that.
Um, and please stop rapping. Okay, please stop rapping. But yeah, I now granted, I think this chick is a little bit off. But
Yeah.
maybe that's just her feistiness. I don't know. I think she's a little bit off. But I am with you. I think she was justified in responding to him the way she did because we've never seen that on Love Island. Normally, when you pick a person, it is a person that you are interested in getting to know.
Mm-hmm.
I quite honestly, I can't remember a time where somebody pick the person. You had the option to pick the person you've been flirting with the most. You don't pick that person. So you pick a person and then you basically are like, don't touch me.
Yeah.
Don't talk to
It
me.
was
Don't
crazy.
call me babe.
And then like him, what Abaya was like when she naturally said "babe" out of her mouth after he said that, and she was like, "Okay, sorry, sir." That was funny, but
Yeah, that was
it
funny.
was like Ace. If anybody is able to go on Ace's TikTok, and I know you don't want to see some of these dance videos that he has, the persona. The persona that this man has in this video, it is very hard for me to believe, unless it is a fake persona. Okay, give a little bit of room for that. It is very, very, very hard for me to believe that it is not hard for him to open up, show affection, be touchy feely, have little cute nicknames, yada yada yada. It is very hard for me to believe that. I am so sorry. And then on top of that, he even back to the challenge when he was like, I've never told a girl that I love her. But then fast forward, he talks about he gives his all in a relationship. Like he flew this girl out. He made sure that she had roses, a teddy bear, this, and that. And you tell me you ain't tell that girl that you love her and you did all that. But then you
Yeah.
revert back and say, oh, like I'm this soft man. It's hard for me to open up. Don't call me babe. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Hold on. That's me messing up on my side. But you're right. Those things don't go together.
Yeah, it's weird to me. And then his like me personally, some girls love this. I personally don't because it's like you're trying too hard. A man that sits and he tries to lean back, man spread, licking your lips, talking all slow, like you look dumb. You look dumb. Like Ace, you're not an unattractive man. I will never call you unattractive, okay? But you doing this for me personally makes you unattractive, especially when I see how you move.
I
That's
heard
another
somebody else say that, like, Ace, will you just please have a normal conversation and stop acting like you're Rico Suave in all the conversations?
that part.
You know,
That
it's just like is he doing too much? He's licking his lips. He's pouring it on too thick. Like he's just trying to, I don't know. It's just it's too much and it feels like an act. And this thing, like you said, like he's like, well, I'm keeping all of my options open. Well, tonight, and let's get to this decision on this couple. We know this couple. First of all, this isn't a couple. We're in agreement on that. But as far as the recoupling tonight, if it is the issue, okay, Shelly may have to put her nickel down on something tonight. And if she has to decide between Ace and Austin, what do you think Shelly's going to do? Or it could be the reverse, because if the guys are picking, other than those that America has put together, and Ace is up there, what do you think is going to happen with the recoupling tonight with Ace, Shelly, Austin, and I'm not even really counting this girl here because
yeah. I think if there is a recoupling tonight for the rest of the group, and let's say Iris is not with Ace, I think Ace will automatically pick Shelly. I
hmm
think. If the wait, Ace will pick Shelly, but if Austin is before Ace, Austin will pick Shelly. If the girls have the power, I know there's some people, there's some stuff about Austin. You can do that research yourself, okay? Has some people that not liking him, but throughout the season, a lot of people have even started liking him. minus some of the stuff that he supports. So I feel like even though I was kind of thrown off with some of the stuff that I learned about Austin, Shelly just needs to pick Austin. I just feel like Ace is just bad news. I feel like our girl is gonna get like played. I feel like something's going to happen. And I need Shelly to just stay away from Ace. So I might as well just pick Austin. That's what I want her to do.
You know, it's funny you should say that because I saw something online today where some it probably was on X, where somebody said they don't want Austin with Shelly because he's not good for her because of all the stuff that is in the press about him. And I'll talk about it a little bit. It's MAGA related. It's like we're surprised you're even dating someone who is a black woman because that doesn't go along with what appears to be his politics. Okay, but somebody said on X that he Shelly should not get with Austin, and she definitely should not get with Ace. That Shelly and Sierra should get together.
That's so real. That's so real. That's so
I
real.
actually could see that working.
I could see it working too. Have the first girl couple on Love Island. I could
Yep,
see that working.
yep.
Or
Let
even
Shelly go ahead. Go ahead.
let's leave a little bit of room for it too. If what is it, Pepe? If Pepe gets coupled up with I keep forgetting that girl's name. The white
Iris,
girl with the blonde hair? No, the other
Iris,
no, the one that
Hannah.
Hannah. If Pepe is coupled up with Hannah and Charlie is now vulnerable and single, because I feel like if they do have a recoupling, I don't think nobody's gonna get kicked off. They'll just be vulnerable.
Hmm.
Then Shelly needs to reopen what the frick happened with Charlie. That's what she needs to do. Cause she kind of just cut that junk off all the way. And I was like, what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, she was kind of cutthroat with that too, I think.
Yeah, and I was like, y'all were just having like such a good time. And Charlie picked her. So obviously, you know that he's still like attracted to her. So if
Hmm.
she is open to it, she need to try to dabble into that.
Okay, so tonight with the recoupling, we think if Shelly and with the drama and the production of this episode, it would not be surprising if they didn't put Shelly in a position where you got to call it. You
Mm,
got to call it. You've been kind of straddling the fence between these two people. We need you to decide which one. I'm gonna tell you, I if she ends up choosing either one of these guys, Ace or Austin, neither one is going to last.
yeah.
I don't think. And if Ace makes it, tries to make it last, I still feel like Ace is fake. I don't feel like anything about that is real. I feel like Ace is trying his best to make it to the finale.
Yeah.
All right. So since you mentioned Hannah, let's see if we can go to oh wait a minute. Is Hannah, yeah, Hannah was with him, right? And I don't remember his name. What's his name?
Charlie.
Charlie, thank you. Okay, so Hannah is with Charlie. Now, and I'll see if I can find a better clip of them. But the way Hannah got with the other dude, Hannah is not into Charlie.
No. Or
And
it's like
Go ahead, go
I
ahead.
will say like her introduction. I don't want to say she get around. I don't want to say that because that's like, I mean, explore what you want to explore. But it was very much known like girl has experienced some a couple of things. Okay, so it's like I feel like she settled a little bit with Charlie. So that
Hmm.
kind of goes back to what you said that she ain't really feeling him.
Hmm.
But then she finds, I mean, Pepe is attractive, but Pepe, this tall, strong, basketball athletic man, and they have good banter and they're flowing. I'm like, girl saw the opportunity and hopped on it.
She hopped on it literally.
Literally.
She literally hopped on it. Yeah, because poor little Charlie. He was upset because somebody I saw somebody on X said he should have just gave him the kitchen because
Mm,
when they went in that other room, we saw how that went down. So yeah, if it's any recoupling tonight where these two have to make a choice, Charlie, of course, would choose to stay with Hannah. But Hannah, if Hannah has to make the choice, Hannah is leaving Charlie tonight.
yeah.
Okay. Let's see who else we got. So we got them. We're saving the best for last. I think we've all also kind of covered Shelley and just talking about the whole Ace thing. Did we leave anybody else out? And I'm going to say one more thing about Austin too, going back to what we touched about in the press. If I didn't know any of that stuff about Austin, like the stuff with the political stuff and the things he said, on his social media, I would really like Austin. So
Mhm.
even when I'm watching this show, I try to almost put that out of my mind and just kind of take it take it for like what the show is presenting, just like, because of whatever. But if I didn't know those things that we know about Austin, I would actually like Austin.
Yeah, and I think it. How do I explain it? Like Yalissa, I mean, so long she got kicked off, and she
What
needed to
the?
get kicked off because of some of the stuff she was saying. But I put both of them in two separate categories because I mean, you can't kick somebody off of a show just because of who they voted for.
Hmm.
I mean, like you got to leave a little bit of room. You can't really do that, but it just leaves a question mark because Austin is going towards these foreign like women. Like you would expect based off of the stuff that he is posting or reposting on his TikTok that he will automatically go for a white girl, might even hit him with the white girl, blonde hair, blue eyes type of category.
Yeah,
Okay.
he should be
But
pursuing Hannah.
yeah, but like he is pursuing Shelly. I mean, I think at the beginning when they were coupled up, I mean, it was kind of like there's nobody left. Let's put you two together. That's what it felt like.
Hmm.
But both of them are holding on to it. And you don't hold on to something like that for too long without having some type of attraction. And even in the video, you see him literally crashing out. So you see there's some type of attraction, but I'm just confused. It's just a big question mark. Even with his little banter with Amaya. I mean, she's Dominican still, like you
That's
still going
that's still
towards
black.
red to black. So it's like, what's going on? It's just a little question mark to me. I'm confused.
Yeah, and I'm because I really think Austin is really into Shelley. I think he's really interested in her. And and to me, like to your point about like who he votes for, I agree with you on that. If what was on social media was just that he voted in a way that you wouldn't think he would be interested in Shelley, that would be. But I've seen some other stuff out there, and I don't even want to get too far into it on here because I don't even know how much of it is. I don't know, but supposedly he has posts out there talking about like Haitians and stuff, and they're like, okay, well, Shelley's Haitian, so it's like,
What?
yeah, so it's like it's weird because you're this person on social media, but yet here you are about just stressed out, and you really look like you're stressed out. It doesn't look like you're acting that pursuing this woman.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. It is very confusing, but I will just say again, if I didn't know any of that stuff that we know about him off of social media, I would actually like they maybe should start having these people when they get on these shows to either turn their social media off or do something because it kind of ruins it a little bit.
It does. Like you just need to deactivate it a little bit because now you can honestly find everyone's like whole life on it. Like I saw a video of Huda when she might have been in like high school, and I'm
Hmm.
assuming she used to do plays or something, and they would show a picture of her when she's a teenager versus now, and like basically saying, "Oh my God, glow up like crazy," yada yada yada. And I'm like, okay, first of all, you're comparing a 16, 17-year old to a 25-year-old woman. Okay. Then like I'm like it's glow up, but then also it's just growing up and growing into your face. Like I thought it was just weird. And then people finding people's like I've seen people find some of the contestants family members and
Yeah.
parents and all this stuff. And I'm like, the parents and siblings, that's crazy. I expect the exes to post something. That always happens. You can't really
Hmm.
control that one. But besides that, everything else, I really don't need to know anything else besides, I mean, you can show what you post, but your repost, you need to turn it off. Because that's what got Austin caught up.
Yeah. So you're saying some of the stuff it wasn't even Austin saying it, but him reposting it, which means you're co-signing what was said.
Yeah, and I will say I have went through those reposts, and I'm telling you, if you went through it, it would give you a big question mark. Why are you trying to talk with these women with some color, with some flavor? Like what's going on? I'm
Yeah.
confused. And
I,
it's
I'm Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say I was trying to see how far back the repost was because I was like, maybe it makes more sense if it was from Trump's first time in office and he's doing
Hmm.
all this for the first time he ran. Then I'm like, okay, that leaves a little bit of room for improvement. Just learning what was wrong, yada yada yada. But it was from this election, and it was very like specific edits and posts, and I was like, okay, we know what timing you're on, so I'm just confused.
Yeah. And see, that's why I can't wait. I can't wait till this is over and we get to the reunions and all of that. I can't wait till we get to that part because I want to hear what he has to say about it.
Hmm.
I want to hear what he has to say about it. I'm sure the only reason he's probably not saying anything now because they can't, contractually they're not supposed to. But I want to see because he's going to have to respond to that. So it's going to be interesting. And I want to see also what Shelly thinks about it, assuming she didn't know any of that while he was trying to talk to her. I want to see what she has to say about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so our last couple, I think that's everybody, right? Besides Huda and Jeremiah.
Yeah.
Okay, so the
All
last
right, relax.
couple.
I
Nah,
know
the
that.
fact that you act that way
No.
towards your fucking friends,
Hey,
All
I'll
right, so
I'll say this crash out right here, it was valid. I think it was valid, okay?
mhm,
Because one, you have your friends telling you, "Oh, I think Hood is doing this weird, doing this yada yada yada. She's trying to take the easy way out." I really don't think Hood is taking the easy way out. I think she just has attachment issues. Like I think it's just she sees a dude. One, he's the finest man in the villa. Let's start there. Okay. They had banter. Let's leave it a little bit of room for. Jeremiah was love bombing her at the beginning. And you can clearly tell that she has trust issues and I assume attachment issues. So obviously, if she sees all of this at the beginning, she's going to latch on to it. So I didn't understand why the dudes were trying to paint her in a negative light, but I don't give Jeremiah props for letting them truly affect him like that.
mhm,
And I know everyone's human, you have your emotions, but he let them easily dictate his opinion on her in that moment right after her telling him that she has a kid. Because before she told him that she has a kid, every time that Ace, because Ace was one of those messy people that was trying to get in Jeremiah's head, talking about hood of this, hood of that, you need to explore, he just brushed that off. Like he didn't care.
he did.
Like he was like, this is my girl. I don't care, yada, yada, yada. But after she was like, hey, I'm a mommy. Now you have a whole another conversation and they're basically dissing your girl, your quote unquote girl, and Nick saying, "Oh, don't tell her I said that," and you just moping. So when she comes and checks on you and sees that something's wrong, and you just give her a thumbs up with your head down, that's crazy. That is switch up. That is a switch up.
You know what I hated about this scene the most? Well, the part that we don't see here, the part that happened before with the guys. It felt so damn high school.
It did.
It might have even felt middle school. It felt like they were the boys sitting over at the lunch table coming up with some shit and some foolishness just to mess with somebody. And as part of it, I do feel is jealousy because Ace is too heavily invested in Jeremiah and Huda. He
Yeah.
he is too invested. But it felt like it was so immature for them to say that to Jeremiah. And I agree with you. The way when she came over there, well, how Jeremiah like shook her hand
Mm-hmm.
instead of greeting her normally, and the way he wouldn't talk to her. And I'm like, first of all, how they so quickly get into your head and make you think something different. But I think you hit the nail on the head. If this had happened before he knew she had a child, he would not have acted that way.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's looking for a way out.
And that's one thing that I think is purely different from this season compared to the last. I felt like the
Mm,
last season, even though this season is pretty good so far, like I'm not gonna bash it. Last season, I felt like it was more authentic. I felt like the
mm,
girls had each other's backs more. I felt like the girls last season also would check each other when you're out of line. That's another thing. One thing I don't appreciate about some of these girls, like you're scared to step on each other's toes, not with stealing each other's man, telling them like, girl, you need to calm down. Because Huda, I will say, I'm not really here for 100% all of the Huda hate because some of it is a complicated thing. Some of the hate she kind of deserves, but 100%, it's not 100% her. But some of the times that she is out there and she's doing a little too much, if I was on that show, I personally tell her, girl, like you need to calm down or you need to choose your words wisely. Make
What
it
would you
known.
tell her? What would you tell her? Because you notice every girl that came in there that she thought was a threat, boy, she was calling them a bitch quick.
Mm.
You saw how she was acting. She was acting like, girl, you know you're on a reality show, right? You know y'all only been on this thing for a few days. You know the whole premise of this is that bombshells come in, your man could possibly get taken. He could recouple with somebody who was already. But you saw that attitude she got when anybody new came in and she thought they were interested in Jeremiah. If you were a girl in the villa with her with that kind of thing, what would you say to her?
I would tell her, girl, you need to calm down. Okay. The whole premise of this show is the bombshell is coming in to be a bombshell. Okay. They're trying to shake stuff up. So even if your butt hurt, you need to literally just brush that off. Even when she was doing that whole back bend to watch the girl kick Jeremiah, that or kiss Jeremiah, that was
Mhm.
so unnecessary. And I was like, girl, like you're digging your own grave here. Like I'm trying to give you the benefit of the doubt. Because like this crash out, I will truly say Huda was in the right place. Jeremiah was 100% in the wrong, and those dudes were in the wrong. But when you do stuff like that and you calling the new girls bitches, she's messy, she's this, she's that. I'm like, girl, do you know what show you're on?
Right.
Do you know that you just met this dude 4 days ago? Do
Right.
you had absolutely no clue who this man was years ago, weeks
You
ago?
don't know who he is now. You act like you ready to jump on somebody.
Yeah, and I get feeling some type of way. Okay, me personally, anybody would feel some type of way when somebody that you're coupled up with is freaking making out with someone right behind you or right next to you. But
Yeah.
there shouldn't be that level, that line that you cross that you feel like you've known this person for so long. Like they're still in that stage now that it's like y'all still are freshly knowing each other. Y'all haven't really hit that part that it's like y'all been here for about a month. Okay, once it hits that month part or once it hits that Casa Amor part, have the crash outs you want. I don't care. Okay, but calling a girl a B word as soon as she comes into the villa is so crazy. And then on top of that, calling her the B word, and then when you're talking with her face to face, like y'all are so nice, like I'm so glad that y'all are here, yada yada yada. I'm like,
As
girl,
soon
that's
as soon as she think they're not a threat, as
exactly.
soon as she thinks they've received that Jeremiah is fine, and you are not to really look at him too much or touch him because we are together. As soon as she feels like they're going to comply with that, then she gets like, "Oh, I just love you. I'm so glad you're here. Oh my God, you're so beautiful."
Yeah, no.
Okay, Huda. Well, Huda gonna be disturbed tonight because I do feel that Huda and Jeremiah will be broken apart tonight. America has voted, and I believe 100% that America is splitting them up tonight.
Because the amount of people on TikTok that I went through, because every time that I watched the show, the next day or even later that night, people are on live maybe till 1 o'clock in the morning talking about the show. And everybody had their wallpaper as the voting and what they submitted. And I saw Jeremiah's face a little too many times. Little too many times. And then the amount of people that were like, I don't really want them to break up, but I'm just putting it here so I can be messy. Like it's it's kind of bad. It's kind of bad.
So do you think Huda's gonna crash out?
I think she's either gonna really crash out like bad, or I feel like she's gonna just be very silent and just like what the frick they do that for? Because she has two personalities. She
Mhm.
has she has the crash out, she has the baby talk, or she really has three: crash out, baby talk, boys trying to check somebody. But then she got the other one that's like, what the frick are we doing? Which I'm like, I'm fine with that
Yeah.
Huda because that sounds more real than anything.
Yeah,
But
that's when you stop all that fake stuff and say it with your whole chest. What you want to say?
yeah, but I feel like it's either going to be that one or she's going to crash out.
Yeah, it's gonna be a mess. And when Jeremiah gets put with Iris tonight, that's what we believe is going to happen. You think that too, right?
Yeah.
How do you think Iris is going to play it? Because after and they're going to do us like this tonight. As soon as they get recoupled, it's going to go off, and we're going to have to wait for the next episode.
Yeah.
Because how do you think Iris is going to play it? Because Iris is talking to multiple people, and to me, quite frankly, Iris looks very interested in Ace.
Yeah. I will say, like, even though they did show us just a couple of minutes of their conversation, even when they panned off to the other couple's conversations, like, you can still see them in the back talking. So I can't even imagine how long that conversation actually was, besides those like 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But if Iris is paired up with Jeremiah, I think she'll probably take the role of, I'll try to get to know Jeremiah and Ace. And I feel like she has every right to do that because she just got here. But
That's true.
I feel like she'll take that role. I feel like she might go a little closer to Ace, and then it might just fall back into Jeremiah and Hood are just feeling each other again. But yeah.
Yeah, because maybe they hit a bump in the road, and then maybe they need this for them to kind of bring it back into like normal, like getting to know each other instead of this like whirlwind romance in a few days where we're talking about marriage and you needing to get to know my kid,
Yeah.
which is all like too soon, too soon. Okay, so let's see. So I think other than that, I think Huda and Jeremiah is probably the big thing everybody's looking forward to tonight. Other than that, I would say if there's a decision to be made by Shelly between Austin and Ace, or if Ace has to make a decision, I think that'll be interesting. The other little lady who I think is kind of crazy, what's her name? Amaya.
Yeah,
If
it's a lot.
if Amaya might end up getting voted off. So,
Mm.
but I know at some point. Okay, so I think this is the last question. So if you had to say based off of what we've seen up until this point, and we know we still got a long way to go, but if you had to say who out of the people who are there right now, who is likely to be the couple to win this in the end, who do you think it would be? And it could be two people who are not even together right now. But who do you think will be the couple that would win Love Island based off of where we are right now?
Honestly, this is a hot take. I think Jeremiah and Huda could win this. Like, this is a hot take. This is a really hot take. Okay. I'm gonna leave a little bit of room for. Let's say all of this was authentic. Let's say
Mhm.
Jeremiah isn't an F boy. There's no ill intent. Let's say all of the stuff that we think is icky or fishy, that's just out the window. It's just not true. This might be one of them things that's like, y'all went too fast. It blew up. Y'all got challenged. Let's say y'all broke up or decoupled for a little bit. Y'all come back. Y'all have a conversation like, we went too fast. Let's take this slow and try it again. And then it ends up being perfectly fine. I could see that happening.
I am 100% in agreement with you. I think they're going to get broken up tonight. There's going to be some other stuff because, they haven't gone to their separate islands yet. It's going to be some other stuff to happen. But if they somehow, with all of that, find their way back to each other, they
Mhm.
could win it.
They could.
Now, who might be a sleeper to me at this point based off of who we have on the island right now? I don't know if something might develop between Olandria and the other new guy whose name also escapes me. Do you remember his name by any chance?
Um, I don't remember his name. Wait,
I
that's
don't
kind
remember his name. But if Olandria and that guy somehow start clicking up and it start feeling real, they could be a sleeper who might end up coming close to the championship, the win, if you will, because from what I see on social media, people really like Olandria.
of. Mm-hmm.
They seem to really like her a lot. And so I don't know if she could get something going with that dude where people thought it was authentic and real. I don't know, but I still think, to your point, miles ahead of everybody else is Huda and Jeremiah. If this breakup and if they could get back together, if they could break up and get back together, I think they would win it.
Yeah, I think so too. His name is Jalen.
Jalen, okay, Jalen, yeah. If Alandria and Jalen could start having something real, they could be a runner up. I do not see Alandria and Taylor being this season's Serena and Cordell. I do
Yeah,
not
they're
see
not.
it.
And the difference between I saw some TikTok, they were trying to compare Serena and Cordell and Taylor and Orlandria, but I felt like Serena and Cordell is one of those things that's like at the beginning, Cordell liked Serena more, but you can tell that they still liked each other and was still trying to give each other the time of day, like
Right.
trying to make it work, trying to have those conversations. Wow, and obviously that blossomed into something big. But every time I see
Okay.
Orlando and Taylor on my screen, I just feel like y'all having the same goddamn conversation. Like
Every time.
it's like every single time, word for word, like, I'm still feeling you. I think we just need to, work on stuff more, be more affectionate, yada yada yada. And I'm just like, y'all say this every single time, but you're not being affectionate. Like
Yep.
the little yoga day I think was cute. That was cute. Okay. But it's just like y'all need to move a little fast. Like there's Jeremiah and Huda moving too fast. Y'all moving too slow.
Yeah. I mean, when she told him, well, like you could just like, touch my leg or something like that. I said, oh no, time out. This is over. These because first of all, these are grown people we talking about. These grown people we talking about. All right. And they keep using that thing about a slow burn. Sometimes you're a slow burn depending on who the person is.
Yeah.
Okay. Because y'all ain't that slow burn. Y'all done been tonguing down to everybody on the thing. Come on now. Okay. So I mean, but at the end of the day, they just don't have a spark.
Mm-mm.
They just don't have a spark. And now I do remember with Serena and Cordell, initially Serena, she didn't show no interest in Cordell, but it felt like she was still looking for something or
Yeah.
someone. Because remember when the other guy came in, the big buff tall guy, for a moment in time, it looked like okay, maybe, but then that fell apart. But it didn't take long. Initially, she wasn't like, "Oh, Cordell," because you remember the guys encouraging Cordell to talk to other people,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But eventually, it all worked out. Whatever that was between Serena and Cordell, I'm with you. Is not the same as what we're seeing with Olandria and Taylor.
Yeah.
People want it to be, but it's not the same.
It's not at all.
All right, so let's see. Before we check out, I think we did a good job our first time trying to talk about Love Island, and thank you for hanging in there with me because I'm kind of a little bit I feel like all over the place. You so do you? Let me share. I'm going to share my screen quickly with you so that we can wrap this up. I promise you, it won't take long. Um, but some of these tweets that are out here and you may have, I don't know how often you go on, I keep going back and forth between Twitter and X. I don't know how often you go on X and look at some of the stuff. Do you go on there at all, or you primarily go to TikTok?
Really just TikTok and Instagram.
You see this, you see what's on your screen.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that right there. I was like, oh, that's not like
I'm like, oh, I so wish that would come up in the reunion. I so wish that would come up in the reunion, or even they just talk about it on their social media afterwards. Um, yeah, yeah. So let's see. Is there anything else here highlighting? We already know, Taylor. Your days are numbered, Taylor. Um, and you know what? When the more you look at Ace, is he even all that?
I think it's more of like if he didn't try to do this laid back cool guy act and just acted like his normal self, I think it's more of his personality that makes him attractive,
Mm-hmm.
minus the messiness. But I mean, I don't think he's all that. The one who's all that in the bag of chips is Jeremiah. But Besides
Yeah,
that,
Jeremiah, I just wish he was more mature, but the look part of it, oh, Jeremiah, oh, yes.
Jeremiah, and especially when you see him with them glasses on, when he occasionally puts them on, I'm like, you are like a sculpture. I don't know what's going on, but
Yeah.
God
Jeremiah is a
is
good looking
good.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ace to me, definitely he's a look, because I'm older. Of course, you're more in these people's age group. I think he's a cute person. I'm not saying he's unattractive at all, but I think the way he behaves just has me looking at him like, first of all, because even if it was Jeremiah doing all this that he's doing, it would be a turnoff.
Yeah, it
Or
would.
you don't agree?
I I don't know. I just think Ace just really pisses me off. So I can't really compliment him at the moment. But it's just like I feel like it could be a turn off, yeah.
And then we have the thing with I don't want to mess up his name, the one that Hannah's with.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she's with Charlie, but the situation with her right there with yeah, she might as well go ahead and see. This is a
Pepe,
lot.
Pepe is cute. I think it would be what's his name? Jeremiah, then it would be Pepe as the most attractive people in the
You think so?
Yes, I like
I think
Pepe.
his hair messes with me. Like, what's going on with his hair?
I peeped that too, but it ain't that bad. But it's just like
Feathers.
Pepe, like he gives off this delicate vibe. It might be fake, but right now it's not showing that it is. So I'm gonna go with it. He gives off this
Okay.
delicate vibe, and also he's athletic and attractive. So it's like,
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
This is that post I was telling you about when the person said, now, when Nick couples up with Iris and Sierra's in such a state of distress, she runs to Shelly to vent, and then they look into each other's eyes and kiss and fall in love and win Love Island.
oh Lord,
Girl, now that would be something now, because we talking about who could win Love Island. Would that not be something if Sierra and Shelly win Love Island?
hey, I will say all of the girls will be on their side,
Yes.
all of
So
them.
that would be something, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I think that right now makes more sense to me than Shelly and Ace, Shelly and Austin, and Sierra and Nick.
Yeah,
I don't want to see either one of them win Love Island. I mean, no.
yeah. I thought it was funny when Shelly and Sierra kissed in that challenge. And Sierra, she just threw the coin down so she could kiss Shelly. I thought that was funny.
Yep. Hey, it make it happen. It make it happen. Let's see, Hannah straddling the new bombshell. We've seen that. Ace sucking up the Iris only for her to be coupled with Jeremiah later.
Mm-mm.
That's what people are rooting for. Love Island male cast so terrible. I'm rooting for Austin.
I will say, like the men, unless we might just be biased because we just had such a good season last time.
Mm-hmm.
The men, I feel like just not doing it for me.
Really, nobody but Jeremiah, really, or is that too kind of what?
Jeremiah, Pepe, I could understand Nick. Besides that, everyone else is kind of just like, I don't understand. That sounds so bad, but I feel like last season, like Cordell, for example, for me personally, he's not my like stereotypical like type, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I could understand how someone could find them attractive.
Mm-hmm.
Like I felt like last season I never went through that phase. It's like, why are you on this show? Besides the black dude that came in that was being all messy with Liv, I forgot his name. And wait, actually, let me take this back. Rewind everything I said because they did have Aaron on that show. Don't know why he was on there. They had the black dude that was messy with him. They had Connor. They had. I feel like I'm missing one more person. I was like, okay, why are you on the show? But something about the dudes this season. Maybe it's just because they really don't have that big of a personality. Maybe that's what it is.
I tell you one thing though, if the women got to come through with all this body they giving and the face cards they giving and all that, the men need to do the same.
That part.
The men need to do the same. Let's see. Somebody said, I'm actually giggling so hard thinking about the reactions we're going to get on Sunday when the Islanders hear Iris. The public have decided you should couple with Jeremiah.
Mm.
Yeah, that's what everybody's tuning in tonight for. You know, everybody is waiting for that moment.
I,
Everybody is waiting for that moment tonight.
this is gonna be a hot mess.
And then let's see, Taylor really a monkey see, monkey do type of man. See, this is another thing where Olandria may not be feeling him because she talked about how he started kind of turning up his interest once. What did you say the other man's name was?
Jalen.
Jalen. Once Jalen got there, but they said Taylor really a monkey see, monkey do type of man. Ace doing a yoga date, and here he comes doing one. What
Mm.
you think about that? You think that, or do you think it's kind of cute, or you think they're being too hard on Taylor?
I felt like you don't have to bring in the yoga day. I felt like that was still cute. But what is up with her makeup? I'm sorry. I was caught off guard. What's her name? Tokyo Tony.
Child, yeah, she a mess. That's a
Why
whole
her
nother
face
thing.
look that is it's kind of ashy. Okay, but
Yeah.
I'll say the yoga date, they don't need to shove that in there. That's okay. But him being all touchy feely, yes, I understand how somebody could say
And it
monkey.
still feels cringy. Like Taylor now trying to even when Taylor and Olandria kiss, it does not, it just gives like It just no. I'm
It's
sorry. It
it's
just it just ain't there. It just ain't there. It just ain't there. All right, and this one they said for years we wanted a girl to explore her options the way guys typically do. And here comes Shelly doing exactly that, but y'all want me to feel bad for the Trump. Okay. We don't. We've
yeah.
talked
We
about
are yeah, we got
we've talked about this. Yeah. Charlie should have just gave them the kitchen. Yeah, because Hannah went in there with Pepe. Why can I not say that man's name?
Pepe.
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 Hannah went into that room with Pepe and she forgot all about Charlie.
Sure did.
And Charlie was mad when he came in that kitchen because he was like, "I'm sorry, I'm using this kitchen to make guacamole." Now I don't know if he thought Hannah would say, "Oh well, I'll get with you later because I'm hanging out with Charlie right now to make guacamole." Hannah threw him up the peace sign,
Sure did. She
and she went in there and hopped on Pepe, and that's all she wrote. Okay.
I don't blame her. I don't blame her. Pepe I think Pepe is so attractive. I mean, I can get the hair thing because I peeped that too, but I find him very attractive.
I think his hair just distracts me because it looks like feathers.
It's kind of thin at the
It's
top.
like, what are you doing? Like you flipping it up in the back or what? Okay. All right. Someone else said, truth is, if Jeremiah didn't know Huda had a kid, he wouldn't be making these slick comments about how she treats him like one.
Valid.
I agree.
Valid.
He's
Even if like I feel like even if Huda continuously talk like that, it would lead up to that point of him saying that. But like now you just look at her as just a mom. That's what I feel like.
right. And you never used those analogies before. And Huda been talking the way Huda been talking the whole time. But now that you know she's a mom, you like, why is she talking to me like I'm a kid? I'm not a kid. Well, you acting like a kid, Jeremiah.
Sure, with the hands down, thumbs up. That pissed me off. I was like, what's going on?
And even when she was telling him to like eat his food, and he was like, well, if you think she treating you like a kid, then when y'all get into bed tonight, won't you act like that then? Because every time that camera goes around to those beds at night, you and Huda, y'all just don't believe in going to sleep.
That part. Just go
Which
to
is
sleep.
another thing. You talking ish about her now because you're really looking for a way out, in my opinion. Okay. You're looking for a way out, but whatever way you looking for out at night, you still up in there up on her.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's see, just a couple of more, Cam, and then we'll get off here. The difference in how Ace treats a woman he likes versus doesn't like is alarming. Is it just me? You want a man that's disrespectful to all women, but you're the exception?
Mm. Mm.
Now this is a real life thing right here.
That is Ace. I feel like is the type of person who that in the profile pic. That's a BTS.
That's
Okay,
Nene before she had all her work, girl.
but I'll say Ace is one of them people that's like the original Pop the Balloon on YouTube. He'll be on that show.
Oh, for sure.
I can feel that vibe.
For sure. And he would be one that would come back for the reunion and people will have a lot to say about because he will be putting on for one.
Yeah.
But the thing I really like about this comment, and I think you and I have had conversations about this, just real life conversations about how if we have a friend, if you have a guy who's interested in you and he treats you like a queen because he's trying to get with you, or has either gotten with you, but all the other women around you, he's rude, disrespectful, calling them names or whatever. How do you think that's cute? Like you look at it like, because what this thing is saying, oh, so you're an exception to that. So you don't see how he's treating other women and you think that's cool?
Mm-mm.
Because my thing is he acting like that now because he's still trying to get with you or whatever. But after he gets with you, he gonna treat you just like he treating them because that's showing you who he is.
That part. And then also, Ace, like, what makes him dig like his own grave is that he makes connections only off of a sexual banter, only off of flirting. So then
True.
once you actually recouple with someone, which I give Amaya props for her crash out also, then you talking about how you don't want to be called babe, you don't want to cuddle, you don't want to hug, you don't want to do this. But basically the only thing that they really connected on or the banter that they had was sexual. And that's the same thing with Shelly and him, with him licking that pie, throwing it, and then kissing her. So it's
True.
like you can't give off this vibe that you doing all this, and then as soon as you're in the couple or actually coupled up with the person, then you don't even want to hug them. Like that's
You
weird.
you don't want a Maya to touch you, but you up in there even when the challenge is over, licking whipped cream or whatever it was off of Shelly's chest in front of everybody.
Yeah, no,
How that work?
it don't.
They said not Nick asking more questions about the kid than Jeremiah. Quite frankly, when Huda told Jeremiah she had a kid, it threw him. And I don't judge him for that now because if you've never been in a relationship with somebody who had a kid, you're not really sure if that's something you want. That was I'm assuming his real response. And yeah, I don't think Jeremiah is feeling the kid thing.
Yeah, me neither.
But we'll see. We'll see if he bounces back. Alandria and Jalen already having a better conversation than she did with Taylor, and it's only been 2 seconds.
Mm, that's sad.
So 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 sad. Uh, let's see. Huda labeling herself as a girl's girl, but calls every girl bombshell a bitch and degrades them. Her spirit is so nasty.
Mm-hmm. That's not good. That part is not good.
Now she does do that now, but would you go as far as saying her spirit is nasty, or do you? But now that whole first part of this sentence up here, I agree with.
I'll just say that's nasty. Not her
It is.
spirit is nasty, but just that's nasty. And that's when I go back to what I said. Them girls should have checked her.
Yeah, yeah. Because in season 6, that would have happened. She would have had that some of those girls would have had that conversation with her. Okay, this is the last one because I've already kept you longer. I said I was going to keep you an hour. This one where the person just said me voting Ace and Huda off my island.
That's so real. Not the hood part. She could stay. She could stay a little bit longer. But Ace, I need him off.
Wouldn't it be something if Ace and Amaya had to leave the island tonight?
Mm. I feel like if that did happen, I would question what y'all speeding up the process for. What's going on?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna stop because I told you I was gonna stop. I'm gonna. Okay, yeah, we don't want to do that. All right, all right. Oh, this is about Bella. Bella. Well, I guess we won't see her until the reunion. Okay, I'm not gonna go there. All
Mhm.
right. Well, tonight is the night. We're gonna see what happens with this recoupling. I can't wait for 9 o'clock to get here. I think it's going to be very interesting. I think social media is going to go crazy after this episode goes off tonight.
They are.
It's 9 o'clock tonight, right?
Yes, 9 o'clock.
All right. Well, thank you for joining me, Cam, tonight to kind of talk about what's going to happen on Love Island tonight. Hopefully, we can do some more of these for Love Island. I don't know how many more episodes we got. And thank you to anybody who's watching this live. If you drop by for the rewatch, please give the live a thumbs up. Drop a comment. Just say hello to us. We like, we're friendly people. Say hey. And if you're not a subscriber, consider subscribing to the channel. We definitely appreciate the support. Thank you, Cam, for joining me today. I appreciate you.
No problem.
And until the next time, y'all, bye.
Bye bye.